aside from what services Bobby provides. Meetings and travel, city manager, city councils included in the budget. EMC contract and other services are also under line 320. That's budgeted at $350,000. So you will see that in the budget. That pays for, should pay for this coming year, assuming the council wants to renew that contract. That contract's up for renewal, I believe, in December. So it's something to consider, but it is budgeted. So, Community Promotions Council, I want to point that out, is something that we, as we promote events, things around the community, we budget for that, so that's budgeted at $20,000, as well as economic development. If there's any type of incentives, the Starbucks is an example. Is an example of an incentive we gave, and then we have the facade grant that's also included as part of that economic development incentive. So the other one is a contingency account. Our preference is not to touch that unless we have to. Now we will, from time to time, take some funds out there for food bank. I know the mayor has requested some funding if you need to fund a food drive, a couple of food drives. But it is something that we need to consider. The swimming pool, the budget for that amount is also there. And then we also put in what we call a transfer out. You put $10,000 in budgeted for the bonuses for the fire department. So that is in the budget. Go to the next page, please. So what the items, and the reason we see the decrease is because the community development position, the department actually was split. So there were some salaries and things of that sort that went to community development that were at one time either part of the admin budget or are new. So you have the community development position has a salary of the community development director. 2.5 positions are budgeted. I believe it's the permit clerk, code enforcement officer, and a part-time code enforcement officer that we're requesting. That is a new position, which would be the part-time code enforcement officer. And again, the new, which will be new, will be the community development director position. That person is scheduled to begin work next Monday. I'm excited about that. We're also looking at some consulting for services, and we're hoping to do some of it this year for zoning and subdivision regulations and our zoning maps. We do need some additional help to get that across the finish line. And the interlocal agreement with PISD. Now, this is something that I think I mentioned, but it is it's not an existing agreement, but it's an agreement to help the trades. I think we talked about that, and that's budgeted under. If you look at 112,306, I think we budgeted $40,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right, James?
Which one?
112,306.
Yes.
We budgeted $40,000 for that to see if we can work towards an interlocal agreement to help with the trade programs there at the school. Now, what we took out of the budget, just to remind the council, is the summer program. There is no summer program for. Remember, I'm wrong. I think we took that out. That is, and we normally, I think we were budgeting. How much were you requesting, Ron? Do you remember?
About $45,000.
$45,000. That's not in the budget right now. So I want to make sure that's clear. This is in there, but again, as you start making, you want to, give us your suggestions, your thoughts about funding one over the other, or funding both. Let us know. But that's, again, to me, they're both good. Gestures, if you will, as far as trying to help with some of the things that we have going on for the kids. But ultimately, it's a recommendation ultimately to the council. I'd like to hear some feedback regarding that, or any other items for that matter. But I do want to hear something from the council regarding the programs. I don't know enough about. I don't think since I've been here we've had the school program because we've had the ACES program. Is what I understood. Right. But I think the summer, the after school, what did it cover, Rand? What did you guys do with the summer program? What did that entail?
Until basically, but maybe about 2 to 3 months we utilize the school area, one of the buildings, and we'd run like an actual school. We'd give them education and feed them, and we'd
They
have
go swimming
activities.
also.
Excuse me?
They were always at the pool also.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly,
In
yes.
the park, they take them bus into the park.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
Did PISD budget anything for this year for that?
I'm not in that area anymore, I wouldn't know.
We want,
I doubt
I'd be interested to see if PISD did budget anything for an after-school programming, so that we can, look at other.
I know they did, for the school year, we did budget for teachers and paras to help 2 hours a day,
Right.
but we're talking summer programs.
Summer,
Yeah.
yes.
So, summer, no,
So you're looking into this for next
for
year?
next
well,
year.
yeah, this
So
is
that's
the
part
budget,
of
this is
budget,
budgeted for next year, we're budgeting for next year's budget, so we just wanna make sure that come May to July of next year, that we have either, if this is, if we're gonna
Yes.
budget for the summer program, we do that, or if we're gonna, if we could, over the next month or two, talk with the school district. I believe the gentleman that I spoke to said that they budget about $2,000 for one of the trades to buy material, which is very much in my opinion, but in saying that, I get it, considering the budget,
So it'd be
budget
good
are
if they'd
thin.
be willing to match what, you know,
As far as the,
as far as what the city,
but are you talking to the summer program or the?
yeah, summer program,
Um,
Or meet halfway,
Yeah.
yeah.
half and half. Because.
Well, they don't charge out for facilities, so that
Yeah.
in itself, I mean, y'all are getting to use all the classrooms and everything all day, right?
believe they.
Maybe they could do the meals, the school
Believe they-
meals as
Remember,
well.
what did they cover last, whenever they were?
The school,
Yes,
the school covered the meals,
There you go.
and of course, the building, utilities, and so on and so forth. Transportation,
so they covered
So I
that.
think
yes.
all, was the city, all that the city paid were the salaries of the
The
workers?
staff.
staff,
Yeah, that's,
Exactly.
that's all.
So if
We
that's.
charge
guess the-
certified
the pool.
teachers.
the use of the pool.
No, not for the city, it's just workers, just any high school, anybody,
And-
who work with the kids.
And I have not engaged the school, as far as like, if they're willing to do that this year, I hope that school will, but I have not, and so we have not, that wasn't a consideration as far as covering bills or transportation.
yeah,
The 45,000 would just cover salaries.
Right.
is what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, what we did is we paid the certified teachers and they covered the extra staff, so on it. But I like this idea too, because if we really take a look at the demands within the community, is trade programs, that's lacking within our communities, and that would increase other areas also as well, so. That's something I think Councilman Hernandez has a good idea of talking, bringing to the table that partnership, hey, meet us halfway, what we can do for our community as far as programs like that. I
Brian,
think-
I would bring it up as soon as you can, because their budget meeting, their August 30th, I mean, like ours,
right.
they're about to set their budget.
From what I understand, council member, and this is just, and I'll go speak to the superintendent as best as tomorrow. What I understand is they're having a tough time, the school districts, not just here, but what the legislature's doing to the tax rates.
Yes.
That's my understanding is what's happening. I don't know all the details, but I guess it sounds like it's pretty volatile, I'll say that. But in saying that if they're willing to help us, meet this, what I'm saying is a goal, I think it would be good. But I'll speak to him tomorrow, and we'll have something in there regardless, I guess I'll put it to you that way, as far as, budgeting for one or the other.
The other question I have, Fred, is, can you give me a brief description as far as duties that are gonna be assigned to this community development director?
Yes, yes, sir. The community development director is basically gonna do a lot of, quite frankly, what Crystal and I have been trying to do, more Crystal, I would say, than I, permits, inspections. The other thing is subdivision regulations, zoning regulations, they're responsible. Part of what the gap, or what we talked about, the communication gap, with people not understanding the permitting and not understanding, why some of these things are the way they are, is just that, is we've been trying to do as best we can to try to put, I hate to say this, but put Band-Aids on something that we know we need to work on. We have the comprehensive plan that we have a draft of, that we need to get over the finish line, we need to get that done. And then they'll be over parks, directly over, And a lot of these guys, again, as I mentioned before, I wish I could tell you that I've spent a significant amount of time addressing all the needs of the park or the library, but quite frankly, my time a lot of times is taken with what I'm talking to you about now, and then police department, and that guy right over there. Public Works, which is where I spend predominantly my time, but that community development director will be over the parks, facilities, and the library, and I believe code enforcement, and again, we'll be addressing all these other needs. And it's a lot, it is a lot of work. I don't wanna say that she's gonna solve every problem, but I'm sure she's gonna be helpful. Based on her credentials and her skill set, I think she'll do a good job.
Yeah, I just want a lot of the focus on these grants.
Grants
We're
too,
not
sorry.
getting
Yeah.
much update, so would want to get an update from Ernie where we're at. And you're right, the contract's coming up in December, and we have yet to see some sort of feedback and something coming into the city. Where are we at? You know, things like that, because we don't wanna miss any deadlines or anything.
No, and I think on that end, that's all part of the help, and I know that the challenge is sometimes is, quite frankly, keeping track, just doing when you guys have been involved with grants, you know the paperwork that's involved. Or just trying to maintain and keep up with them. Part of what we're anticipating this year also, and I'll leave it with, is, we have a CDBG grant that we're supposed to get this year, which is $200-something thousand. And then we're also looking at a $2.1 million grant, from the, General Land Office, GLO. And so the county's also seeing that's primarily gonna be used for drainage projects. So there is some money that's gonna be coming to the city, but in saying that, we do need somebody to keep track of those grants, and then other grants that we also have that I wanna make sure that we try to get. And again, we have the information, is the home grant. The home grant, requires a lot of legwork too, but that home grant, I think the last time we did anything here at the city, if I remember, I think my information is correct, it's been over 20 years. And so the home grant is basically used to help repair and or purchase help, for a new home for people that can't afford it. That's what we have planned for this coming year. I know that housing is, from my standpoint, I will focus a lot of my attention to economic development and housing. I know that's been something that the council we've all been, how do we even get started on this, right? Where do we start? Quite frankly, again, you have some funding, the TERS being one of them. You have some dollars that we could say, hey, we're gonna do this. And, you know, sometimes it's almost you take the plunge and you're hoping that it works right, but at the same time, there's gotta be some things that anyway.
I'd like to address that, Councilman. Just, you know, he's laying a lot, EMC is laying a lot of groundwork for things to come, and really on the scoreboard, you can see the line item, we got 50,000, but for an example, this grant, we just got a 200,000, we sicked him on it, he went and got it, so really, we're already 200,000 to 50. I mean, and the other things he's doing, things that that we may not really see is just the paperwork and keeping up with those grants and those kind of things. And I know the wastewater and then the government land office grant were really kind of pre-him, but we've got a lot of things in the mix. And so, anyway, to your question, it's a great question, but already the scoreboard is we put out 50,000, we got 200,000 in directly already. The check's in the bank, so that's pretty good return on that. Plus, not to mention what we've already established when we went to the courthouse, the state capitol, and of course Washington D.C. I think some good groundwork was made there, which hard to put a dollar figure on. It cost us some money, obviously, but got us some good notification.
On that end, Christine, go to the next slide. This is, if you can blow that up, I know it's kind of small there. Council, this is a project that is probably gonna happen sooner rather than later. I will be submitting this to TxDOT probably this week. It's a letter that has been prepared. but it's basically what TxDOT is doing, they're, I hate to use the word rushing our project. They're gonna lay a significant amount of sidewalk. And what it does is it basically, I won't say it interferes, but it overlaps our project with the water line, wastewater line on Business 35. And the issue we have there is, again, we'll have the design complete, for the water and wastewater line. But we're still looking for the funding to do the construction. And so, because they can't wait forever, TxDOT wants to do the project, but what we would have to do, we have to start with construction, because if not, we'd tear up the sidewalks they just built. That's what would happen. So we have to start with construction of the water and wastewater line. Sometime, I'd probably say, early winter, probably March, thinking March, April. Anyway, but this is part of the discussion that they talked to us about a month or so ago, didn't they? That they wanted to move forward with that sidewalk. And again, it's a good project. To me, TxDOT has some money, and they're doing work that I didn't think they would do for everybody. It's a good project, but that'll be a letter that's gonna be sent out to TxDOT, asking them to hold off on their project until we can get this project started and going. We are, in the next few months, we're gonna have to make some decisions on, like, as far as construction dollars for the water and wastewater line. That project, I'm gonna give you a rough number, to fund it is gonna be around $10 million. So that's a rough estimate of what that run. Again, it's rough, I'm not gonna get into details, but it's pretty close, I would venture to say. So, anyway, that's something I wanna make sure that the council, it's a lot of money, and, you know, as people say, we know a project's gonna get done, they're gonna get done, and, you know, we're talking a lot of money for our town this size. I mean, $12–13 million is a lot of money. When we start talking about this project, drainage and bar screening, it turns into a lot of work. So, anyway, I wanna make sure y'all were aware of that as well. I wanted to answer any questions regarding the budget, I'm sorry, I got one more. This is, and I know the council, we talked about this some, but this is, what I wanted to do is provide a total amount of increases by department. Public Works received, as far as what we're looking at, as far as, they're in your budget under salaries and wages. You'll see these increases, not necessarily by individual, but by department. And so what you'll find is about $101,000 went to Public Works, which is around 40. The reason you see that bigger amount is because they have around 40-something staff.
She may leave, we need 4. They're proposing.
We've got one on Zoom.
Sorry, but you're not able to vote.
Okay, Tiffany?
Yeah.
Just a-
Let's
What about our action
You have
item?
to vote on it.
That's
Yeah.
what, yeah.
Tiffany, give us,
Because
come on
we
back
just
just
lost
a
the
second.
second, she's not coming back.
Oh,
You have to have a vote.
Yeah, we have an action item here, so Tiffany, we're gonna go ahead and,
Does this cover me? Does this cover about the copy? One on Zoom?
so we've still got 1, 2, 3, now we've lost.
And we have Aurora on there.
No, we've gotta have 4 council members, 1 mayor to have a quorum.
Oh, Sonia's
Yeah,
just not.
video conference does not count towards quorum.
Sonia needs to come back.
she had to come. Okay.
We gotta vote on this.
I was not
It's-
anticipating
We're not gonna,
Okay, English, just a second, let me see if I can get it back. All right, go ahead, Fred, I'll see if I can get it.
that's all, council on that end, that's what I had, is just that, you know, you see by department who's, and one of the office and admin, in my opinion, I think that the increases are spread out pretty evenly, simply, you know, by individual. There are gonna be 60 positions, 60 folks that should see an increase. The office and admin staff, there's about 20-something in there, I didn't get, but that includes library, includes the office, across the street as well. And the big number you see there was a significant increase to one of the staff that's taken on a revised job description. She's seen.
City Manager Sonia will be back in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, let's do that. If we come forward so we can vote on the tax rate, if that's okay with y'all? We need to be able to
Okay, council, we've got a few more things to discuss. I'm gonna ask that we have a motion and a second to move item 7A to the floor right now.
We've lost a quorum here, we can't,
As soon as she comes in, I can do that.
we can't have a motion. Yeah, here we go.
There we go. Okay, council, we've got a quorum present, so that the records indicate 4 members and the mayor. And I would like to get a motion and a second to move item 7A to the floor immediately.
I make a motion.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Talamantes, there's a second by Councilwoman Trevino. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say